Already know that life gets hard, and they say that we're used to the harshness. If it wasn't for the pain, I'd laugh. Truth is, we knew about light before dark. Turned music to art and taught everyone to dance. And still no chance. Freedom must be too much to ask. Bleeding from the ache in my heart. Sometimes I wish it was whites in the middle like France. No, I'm not racist, just jarred. Got hate before bush, not plants. They say we should leave it all in the past, but my brother's still dying on the end, so I can't. So if my attitude stinks, don't ask, cause a hashtag won't help you understand my stance. Fuck a melody, this is real rap if you ever see. Head hot, cause the system won't let me be. Tell me how I thrive in a place that don't cherish me. And they wonder why we all need therapy. Pre the energy, yeah, just another nigga to Penelope. And they don't get it how we bottom of the barrel and still drip sauce on the world, no recipe. Weight of the world on my shoulders, all the pressures in life still tightly holding. We pour libation for all of the fallen soldiers, but the pain still goes unspoken. They want us to stay broken, never gonna fall, fuck folding. I see my people lost hope, shit, don't you know we all been chosen.
We are oppressed, we are exploited, we are downtrodden, we are denied not only civil rights but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Forgive me if you don't understand. Sorry, I'm just misunderstood. Punished if I try to take a stand. Meanwhile, my friends dying in the hood. And you can say that we're killing ourselves, but truth is they're killing us still. How you saying Black Lives Matter, but never took a moment to help. Just a trend that you post for yourself. And yeah, it takes a toll on my health, cause I want wealth like everyone else. But it's 10 times harder for me. And they wonder why my brothers put food on a scale. Yeah, when I die, I'll see heaven, that's real. Cause we already living in hell. Wish I could share all the pain I felt. Oh well, I guess I won't speak till my scars do heal. I just wanna be black with a mill. Yeah, that's for every time I had no meals. Cause my mother couldn't keep up the bills. With a handful of kids, no home, just a cell. And I don't care if conscious don't sell. Knowledge brings height to an elf. Went from sitting on thrones to a cell. Been blessed, man, it wasn't by chance we fell. Weight of the world on my shoulders, all the pressures in life still tightly holding. We pour libation for all of the fallen soldiers, but the pain still goes unspoken. They want us to stay broken, never gonna fall, fuck folding. I see my people lost hope, shit, don't you know we all been chosen.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Yes, blessed love, family, blessed love. We are back again this Friday night with Afua Speaks Community Conversations, another community conversation. And for those of you that haven't seen, bless up Grandma Liz. Yes. Good evening, my sister. Yes. Yeah, the mods are in. For those of you that have not seen, I'm not going to even mash my words or waste any time tonight. We are back really for part 2 of what we spoke about last week. And you know, that's the reason, if you know the His Time Is Up campaign, you really know it and understand it and have been on the journey, you will understand that we've had cases like this before, and that is what we call an appeal. You know, we will have a certain amount of testimony. We weren't able to hear that last week, and that was unfortunate, right? But invariably with these types of cases, what happens is that it creates an appeal. It creates an appeal process, really, because the minute that person's name is mentioned and other victims realize that other victims are speaking out, they come forward. This is what happens. And that's what should be happening. We've seen it in all the cases you care to mention, which I don't understand why people accept it. Why is everyone listening to Candy? She's talking about stuff that happened historically. She's talking about stuff that she actually doesn't have any material evidence for, only her testimony, and now everybody else coming out and saying what they have to say. There's too much corroboration. And the people that hear these testimonies, even at the highest level, know how to get the corroboration between all the testimonies that you're having. And that's all that we do here. That's all that we do here. We don't want to hear about the urban myths about we're calling people out that are innocent and this, that, and the other, everyone knows what. I certainly hope not. It's never been proven that we've actually called out an innocent person. It's never been proven. Yes, there are accusations. There always will be. In fact, everybody we've called out, according to some, is innocent. Everybody. So we're just sitting here like, you know, Jack and Nori making up stories. It's ridiculous. Why? And why would these women come on time after time and put themselves in the limelight for lies? It just doesn't make sense. And these people, honestly, they're not superstars, are they? What do these women hope to gain from these brat pocket men that are just doing nastiness in the community back in the day, which everybody knows about? One way or another, people know it's true, right? And what do we see? The corralling of the community. Everybody closes rank around that person. And a lot of the time, I feel that it's because some of their own secrets will come out. You know, some of the nastiness that went on in the community that they got on with. Big up, Sekhmet Amon Ra. Yes, my sister, you don't know. I got to catch you up, sis. But, you know, we know what goes on. We know what goes on. It's awfully silent at the moment in Birmingham. And it's awfully silent coming. I mean, in terms of Birmingham, when I say it's awfully silent in Birmingham, let me qualify that. It's awfully silent in Birmingham for all those people that were storming the chat and the live last week. Now there's nothing being said, but we do know that people are whispering in silos. We do know that it is the conversation in Birmingham right now in certain circles. We know that that's what's going on. And actually, I've received information that I don't know how true it is because I haven't been able to verify it. So it is just, you know, a rumor at this point. But we've received information that Mr. Brown himself is not really kind of anywhere to be seen at the moment. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So, as I said, the original people that were supposed to come on last week, the original victims, you know, and there's no slight on them. It's a difficult thing to do, to come and face this kind of scrutiny in your community, whether you are the victim, the whistleblower, or the messenger, which I am. I know the vitriol and the lies and the nastiness that people do in order to cover their shame, you know. So it's not an easy feat. And we never pressure anybody to come on. It's of their own accord. If they pull out at the last minute, you know, I will always catch up with that person and make sure that they're okay. Make sure that, you know, they're okay. Make sure that they're okay. And any woman that's ever shared her story on this platform cannot say that she didn't receive an aftercare. She didn't receive whatever she wanted to receive on the back of that. Despite what our the dissenters say, that is absolutely not the case. And we're very proud of that. You know, I spent, like my daughter was here telling you guys, I spent hours of my own time putting into this. And those who know, and that's good enough for us. But tonight we're joined by a very special sister because she heard the rally cry. You know, she may never have spoken out about this. So I have a plan with this tonight because I had another laptop lined up. Let me tell you what happened. I actually left my charger at work. That's actually what happened. I left my charger at work and oh God, the lighting's a bit off on all of this, on this particular machine. but it's not got a lot of battery, this one. So I'm hoping this one's going to sort its damn self out, and then we can try and work with it from there. It's typical. It's the one that always freezes, that I don't like to use, because the one that I normally use is out of charge. Left the charger at work. Unbelievable. So I've got a backup, a third backup, which is actually uses the same charger as my one, that the charger I left at work, but this one does have a charge on it. Unreal. But we are here. We have backup plan. So this sister here, as I said, she was in the crowd, and she came forward, and she has the courage to come forward. She feels very strongly about the other victims, and I want you guys to welcome her onto His Time Is Up, Afua Speaks Community Conversations. Welcome, Z. Welcome, sis.
Hello. Hiya.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh, yes, I've got you now, sis. I got you.
Hiya.
Hiya. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Welcome, my sister. I know you're a little bit nervous, but there's
Yeah.
no need to be nervous. Just me and you talking. And I know it's a big step for you as well to come forward, especially with all the vitriol from last week. And I remember when we spoke as well that you felt that you didn't have a story, because you were saying that, you know, you weren't necessarily underage. You were 17 years old. Is that right? When you met Michael Brown?
Yes, I was 17 and he was
17 years old.
38.
Absolutely. And he was 38 years old. Is that right?
Yeah, 38. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, from my standpoint, and I've said it here time and time again, it isn't about the British age of consent. This is the kind of double standard that gets me upset, that we cherry pick what it is we want from British society and what it is we don't. We say we're against the system and the system is against us, but when we're ready, we pick up the dirty elements of the system, my sister. As far as I'm concerned, I have 3 daughters. They age between 36, 24, and 13 years old. And there is at no point in any of those girls' lives that I would be condoning or be impressed or want to know that a 38-year-old long-toned man, as we say in Jamaica, would be wanting to have his way with my little 17-year-old daughter. This is not a question of whether or not it was legal or illegal. It's a question of whether or not it is moral. And what it also shows for me is a penchant for young girls. Yeah? But so just take us through, sis, when you first met him. So you were 17 years old, you know, where was it?
So I was 17. Yeah, I was 17 and it was the summer holidays.
Okay.
It was about 2 months after my 17th birthday, and I was on my way home with a friend from town.
Mm-hmm.
We was traveling back on the bus, and I didn't actually notice Michael on the bus when I got onto the bus. But me and a friend was talking, and somebody just butted in from behind, which was him. And he was just, I think he overheard a conversation that we was having about just like a mayonnaise that we were looking at and looking at the ingredients. And he just kind of dipped into the conversation from behind. And
before you get to that stage, why exactly were you looking at the mayonnaise thing with your friend, the wet mayonnaise packet or bottle? Why were you reading the ingredients? Why was that so important for you?
The ingredients were important to us because of our dietary. Coming up as young Rasta daughters, we were quite mindful of what we were eating. So that was the reason for us discussing what was in the ingredients of this mayonnaise.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So you were Rasta, young Rasta daughter, 2 little young Rasta daughters on the bus. And describe yourself at that age, at the age of 17. You know, did you look 17? Were you big for your age, small for your age? Describe yourself at that age.
So age 17, I would say that I was incredibly timid, very small in size, like a size 6. I didn't look anything like really even a teenager. I could have passed for I could have passed for 15, being 17. Yeah.
And I remember when we were speaking before, you said that when you said your age at the time, that he actually showed surprise because he thought you were younger.
Yeah, I said I was 17, and he said, "Oh, you know." So it could have, yeah, I thought it could have been younger. Yeah.
So you're on the bus, you're with your friend, you guys are looking at the ingredients on the mayonnaise, and then what happens?
I think we got off the bus. It was our stop. We got off the bus, and he was just saying that, you know, I think he said because this is like 25 years ago, and he plays music, and you know, if we'd take his number. So yeah, I took his number. Yeah.
And how old are you now, sis, at the moment? How old are you now?
I'll be 42 this year.
42 this year. Okay.
Yeah.
So significant age gap there. So you took his number.
Yeah.
Then what happened? How did things unfold?
At some point, I called him. Some point during the holidays, I called him. And we must have arranged to meet up. And basically, that's how I started interacting with him. Yeah.
And so what did the interaction look like? How did that relationship unfold? So you started meeting up with him, and what happened after that? Or what happened during that time?
So during the meeting up times, he would like take me like on a pub lunch, go out for walks, up to the college where he worked. You know, a couple of times I went there to meet him there. He would come outside and meet me, and then we'll go back up into the college.
Wow. So that's where he worked at the college. Like, now that's really significant for me, because in plain sight, like a 38-year-old man, did you go to that college?
No, I wasn't attending that college.
So you weren't a student. Did no one ever kind of question who you were or notice you or anything like that? You don't have to give names, obviously.
Well, yeah, I would say that there was maybe 2 people there that would have noticed me. I don't know what he would have said to them as to who I was. But yeah, I'd seen at least 2 members of staff there twice when I went there. Yeah.
I remember you were telling me about somebody with the initial O who worked at the college, who was known with the initial O, who noticed you. That's prompting me to remember when we spoke.
There was another brethren there that worked at the college, and he is known in the community. I think he was a DJ on the radio.
Okay.
And Michael had asked me if I know him. And I said, no, but I've heard of him, and I've heard him on the radio before. Okay, so yeah.
So there was something about the way that he noticed you. That's what I'm saying. Do you remember the conversation we had? There's something about the way that he noticed you that caused you to ask Michael a question.
I think that was, I think you're referring to something that happened when I was waiting at the bus stop.
Oh, okay. I might have got it twisted. I thought that person was screwing their face off or something.
Yeah.
I thought
that was on another occasion. So like we'd met up, and I was on my way home, and he waited with me at the bus stop until my bus came. And there was a guy that came by, and he just kind of like stood opposite him, and he just had this really disgusted look on his face, just looking at him. And Michael looked embarrassed and kind of looked away, and the guy just walked off. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, you know, I was just starting to think that, this is what I'm thinking it is. I was only 17, and I said to Michael, do you know that guy? And like, I could tell that he was fatigued by me even asking that. And he was like, well, no, I don't know him. I don't know where you've been, like referring to it, like it being me, like I was the problem. Like the guy came and looked at me like that, but he was looking at him like that.
Right. That's disgraceful.
So he tried to turn it around on me and said, I don't know where you've been at that point. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like what have I got myself into? And I just felt so disgusted, and it just felt, Yeah, and I didn't look back up.
So that was kind of a red flag for you, wasn't it, at that point? You know, that kind of treatment, I think.
Yeah,
No,
because
I don't think
I'd
there's
never
any.
seen that look on his face before. He never made me feel like worthless.
Mm,
Yeah, and that's how I felt when he said that to me. Like, well, I don't know where you've been, do I?
mm.
And the only place I've been was with, hanging out with him.
So tell us. Let's go back to the college. So you'd go and meet him at college, and then you would go back into the building with him after you met you outside. Where would you be in the college? In the canteen, or how did that play out?
So we entered into the college. This was South Birmingham College, and it was I don't know the area. It's not the one in Digbeth. Yeah.
Say again, sis.
It's not the South Birmingham College in Digbeth, but it's the South College. I can't remember the area. If it's Stratford Road, I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm not sure of the area. I can't remember.
But he worked there.
Yeah.
That much
Well,
you are sure.
there. Yeah, he was working there at the time, and we just went in and kind of went up some steps and into a room, and he was just gathering like papers and stuff. He didn't really hang around there for too long. Yeah. And he showed me downstairs where he done a class with some students that were getting ready to.
That is brazen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That is brazen.
Yeah.
So you just sort of integrated amongst the young people, and I guess nobody really sort of noticed.
No, because there was he was doing different projects at the time. He was doing video shoots. And he would like tell me, "Oh, would you like to come along and see what I do?" Yeah.
And so college wasn't the only place he took you, was it? You'd go to other places, another place with him. Do you want to tell us about that? Like the places he took you, apart from the pub lunches and the walks, where else did he sort of take you to be with you?
So we went to his mother's house a couple of times. Yeah. At first, the first time I went there, he was just popping in to get some stuff. I didn't see anybody there at the time. And the second time that I went there was the last time I went there. And yeah.
So describe, was there anything that happened when you were at his mom's house? Go through that with us. Why was he bringing you there?
So the second time that I went there, he said that he just had to go and get a few things and to come in. It was dark, and so I've gone in, and I think his mum was still up, and he told me to wait in the front room, or the middle room, and just like he said I could sit down. So I sat down, and then within about 2 seconds, he came back and he just turned the light off. And then I just started kind of shitting myself, thinking, yeah, this is it. I didn't know what was really going to happen. I could hear him talking to his mum, like just asking her, "Mommy, why are you still up? You're not going to bed." And she, within a few minutes, she was made her way upstairs from what I could hear. And then he came back into the room. He turned the light on and just told me to come this way. And so he led me out of the room. I was walking like behind him, and then he just led me upstairs. To the top of the stairs is a room. Yeah.
I mean, sis, you don't have to go into any detail. I think our imaginations can do the rest, you don't have to go into any detail, sis. And sister, can you, for anyone that's going to try and say this sister's lying, can you describe that house to me? Because who knows. If you've been to this man's mother's house, can you describe what you remember of this house, should I say? Like how it's set up, how it looks, whatever.
It was a well-kept, nice house, You walk through the door. There's a front room, and then there's the middle room, and it's the middle room that I went in. And then, just as you've walked through the front door.
Take me through, like, imagine that you're my eyes, and you're walking through the front door, what's the first thing you see?
The stairs.
The stairs
If you
in
look
front of
straight
you.
ahead, you'll see the stairs, yeah.
And what's to the left?
2 rooms, and then down a bit of the hall of the kitchen.
Okay. All right. And they're to the left. All right. Okay.
The rooms, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The front room and the middle room.
Who knows, I guess. If you've been to this man's house, you know. And there's no way you're going to come up and give testimony about his mum's house if it was incorrect, is there? No way at all. I mean, that would just be suicide, you know, social suicide at best. So, sis, so you've been to the mum's house, you know, been left in the dark. So clearly a secret, clearly being hidden from mum at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So mum, let's assume mum didn't know about stuff. You would be outside another house as well sometimes with him, wouldn't you? Whose house was that?
So basically I've been to three places that he's taken me. So I've been to his mum's, I've been inside his mum's house. He pulled up at a house and said that this was his baby mother's house. He's got a child outside of his marriage. Yeah. I'm sure he said the child at the time was 12, but it didn't even click to me that the child's only 5 years younger than me. Just, you know, being naive and not even thinking about that. And the third place, he had pulled up outside his own house. I never went in there.
And do you believe that, you know, his wife knew that he was parading or gallivanting with young girls? If you're pulling up outside your marital home and your baby mother's home, which is, I think the baby mother we might have been alluding to, it might be the same one. I don't know. He's got a few, I think. One would assume, no idea. I know you don't know, but I'm saying that one would assume that these women would see you in the car. You know, I'm just thinking from a female standpoint. If my man pulled up, husband or baby father or what, pulled up with a young girl in the car at my house, the first thing I'm doing is questioning that. Who is that?
I think it was more of a case of him knowing where his wife was at the time when he was doing what he's doing.
So she might not have been in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought she would have been in now.
Right, okay. Yeah. Well, I hope that lady is keeping herself safe. And if she hasn't already left him, I hope she's really on the way to doing that quite soon, because that's despicable, isn't it? With people's girl children, as far as I'm concerned. And so there was a significant time, wasn't there, sis, when you ended up leaving him. Can you tell us about that? What was the catalyst for that for you, leaving him? Like actually saying, you know what, this isn't right.
So I think the situation at his mom's house, like, you know, anything could have happened, you know, and I didn't really know what I was dealing with. So I wasn't going to put myself back in that position again. And I think, and also what happened in town with the guy and the way how he reacted when I asked him if he knew the guy who was looking at him like that. Like he tried to make out that it was me he was looking at like that. And, you know, I wasn't, you know, even though I found myself in this situation with him, I wasn't a promiscuous child or teenager at all. And I knew that there's no way that he was looking at me like that. And it just kind of, something just said to me inside that, boy, this is something that you do all the time. And this is the reason why this man's looking at you like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been my assertion as well. I think I would have thought that. Why is he looking at you like that? And bearing in mind the age difference between you. And if he's looking at him like that and he knows him, one could safely assume that, yeah, like you're always doing this.
Yeah,
that's why he's
looking at you. Yeah, I would have thought that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so you started to feel away, didn't you? You know, you started to feel discarded and disrespected.
Well, I saw that side of him when he said that he didn't know where I had been. I saw that side of him. That was the first time I seen like that nasty side of him. And then, you know what? I because it's so long ago, I can't even remember what happened first. If it was the situation at his mom's house where I was hidden in the room and then led into the bedroom, or if it what happened when I was in town waiting for the bus. I can't remember what came from.
Right.
You know, everything happened in a short space of time. Like from me meeting him until it all just ending, I think it could have been like 2 to 3 months.
Not long, yeah.
And this is 25 years ago.
And plus, when you're young as well, 2 to 3 months is quite a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's something that I buried as well, something that I just put to the back of my mind and just got on with stuff. And you know,
somebody in the chat is asking, what car did he drive? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a white Rover. I think it was a white Rover.
Back then, a white Rover.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, I don't know. If you guys know what car that Michael Brown drove back in those days, then maybe somebody can verify it for me in the chats. But obviously, I don't know. So, sis, so you ended up getting the courage, which I have to commend you for. Big props. Young 17-year-old girl, clearly been groomed through the whole Rasta thing. You know, you're a Rasta daughter, him is a Rasta. You're looking at your mayonnaise ingredients. That's how he kind of segues into your life. And then swaps numbers with a 17-year-old at nearly 40 years old. What the hell? I don't want to hear from nobody here tonight. You enablers. This is the problem in our community. Sorry, sis, I'm going to go on a rant. This is the problem in our community. Too much justification. Oh, well, she's legal. There's men that will sit down and wait and watch a girl child all of her young teenage years and wait until the day after her 16th birthday to prep her. Is that right? Just because she's 16 and you can't get locked up for it, it ain't right. I don't want to hear nobody tell me that 17 is okay for people's girl children to be preyed upon by nearly middle-aged men, nearly 40-year-old men. Nah, not my daughter. I'll tell you that much. Not my daughter. Don't know about the rest of how you people parent, thinking it's okay. Yeah? But surely not. Surely not. So don't let me hear none of that from you people. Disgusting. So, sis.
Yeah.
So you left, you found that courage, and I really have to rate you for that, because there's not a lot of 17-year-olds that would have been able to do that, in my opinion. You know? Of course, she's still a child, WDWS Committee 1. Of course, she's still a child at 16. They just about left school and in year 11 trying to do their little A-levels and go somewhere to uni and whatever. You know? 16, 17. You must be crazy. So you left him, you had that courage, and then what happened after that? What was his reaction?
I don't think it wasn't a case of me saying, well, I'm not going to call you again and I don't want to see you again. I just didn't contact him, because in those days I had no mobile phone, you know, and I didn't even have a mobile number for him either. It was his mother's number that he told me to call.
Okay.
If I needed to leave a message there for him. Yeah, so yeah, it was just.
So you never heard from him again. He wasn't like trying to get hold of you via anybody else or anything like that.
No, because there would have only been one person that knew at the time, and yeah, there was no way, because he knew who my parents were as well. You know, so. Yeah.
Okay. And that's your story, sis. To be fair, that's your story, isn't it? It was a couple of months. You had your experience, and I think what's significant for you is the fact that you didn't look 17 and he was actually pitching for somebody younger, because he was clearly surprised when you told him your age, thinking that you were younger. Didn't stop him, though, getting in there, you know, into the conversation, getting a number or whatever it was at that point. Didn't stop him. But once he found out you were 17, then, you know, he could go through even further in the knowledge that you were 17. He didn't lie. But it's still not acceptable. You're a mother yourself now, are you, sis?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a daughter, son?
Well, I'm not going to say what I've got, but what I would say is that this is not something that I would want for any child.
Any child.
Or any 17-year-old, you know?
Yeah. However the tables were turned, absolutely. I hear that. I hear that, my sister. And yeah, you know, it's not something you'd want. It's not something that is expected. It's not something that should be condoned. And I really want to thank you. I know you don't want to stay on too long. I myself am not staying on too long tonight. I've got other things that I need to do. And my sister, I think you've been really brave. I want to
yeah,
thank
there is just one thing that I need to make clear as well.
you.
You know, like I did say that, you know, we went up into the bedroom, you know, even though something was tried, it didn't actually take place.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't think you wanted to talk about the bedroom at all. But
Well,
yes, absolutely.
yeah.
It
So I
didn't
just want
take place. Why didn't it take place? Do you care to tell us why, though?
I never went there for that. That's not what I
No.
went there for. That's not what
What?
my mind or my body was prepared for.
Yeah.
So it could not happen. So it couldn't happen. Naturally, it wouldn't happen. It couldn't happen.
If you don't mind me being a bit more explicit so people really understand, he wasn't able to enter.
No.
Right. Absolutely. It wasn't through lack of trying. It wasn't through lack of intention. He just wasn't able to. Is that correct?
He wasn't able to.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
And I got God that he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing on your side, sister. I believe that you had angels over you. We talked about this, didn't we? You know, that wasn't meant to happen. Exactly. And it didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, sis. Thank you, my sister.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll certainly be carrying on this conversation as well.
Okay.
All right. Blessed love, sis.
Good night.
Good night. Right, guys. Okay, sister's gone. I've got my other laptop on here. Look at that. That's crazy. You know what? I've spoken to this sister extensively in the background, and she's so nervous. You know, that's why we've cut it short. We don't want to kind of expose her for too long. She's done really, really well to come on and tell her story. And it's just, there is a naked sort of truth and authenticity about the way she tells her story. You know, it's no frills, no sides. It's just what it was. And I have no doubt in my mind that this sister here is telling the truth. And also, much of what she says when she describes the house and various other things corroborates with what other sisters have told us as well, other girls, well, women now, most of them. But yeah, it corroborates, and they don't know each other. So I'm hoping that this sister is well protected. She's, you know, not going to be within reach of any of these trolls and these enablers and these usual set of nasty people. Can she bring a case? I believe that all of them can bring a case if they stand together. And that's kind of what we're busy trying to coordinate in the background at the moment. Not everybody has to come up here and speak, but it does take a few good men or a few good women to out certain things. I'm going to put the link out, guys. It takes a few good men and a few good women to break the mold. That's all it takes. One. And you'll see the rest start to follow. So whether that is in public or private, I certainly hope that we get a cohort of people that come together. Historic sexual abuse cases, historic grooming cases, historic any type of case in terms of sexual violence or whatever takes time because the material evidence is lost. How many times? What do you mean a case for what? A case for somebody. What we're saying is, you see the underage ones who are talking, when they go to the police, this sister's testimony will corroborate their testimony. You all don't know how this works. And half the people defending this guy don't actually know him properly in real life. They know of him. Half the people, because there's a lack of his inner circle coming in here defending anything. And he certainly isn't defending it. I'd like to see him say no to this woman. You know, I believe that will push it further. I'd like to see him say no to that woman, that he doesn't know her at all. How does she know the inside of your mum's house? Let anyone come on here and tell me that is not the description of his mum's house then. You know, what does this girl who was 17 at the time, and why doesn't anyone of his inner circle know her if she's bona fide supposed to be at the mum's house? It's a madness. I'm sick of this community. I'm sick of my people. You know, it was Huey Newton from the Black Panthers that once said, if it was not for the love of my people, I would nuclear the whole of them. And I feel exactly the same. You stiff-necked Ethiopians, as the Bible calls you. You stiff-necked Ethiopians. stuck in your slave mentality and your slave plantation. Carry on raping off the people them daughter them. Carry on making the man them walk around the place thinking young girls is all right. Carry on, because we are the women and we're saying no more. But actually, who can stop it overnight is you men and you women that choose to enable these people. You can stop that overnight. You understand? It's become the norm in our community for you people to come out and call people liars and just completely try to railroad what we should have had this voice decades ago, but we were caught up, and we're doing the same thing in 2024. You stiff-necked Ethiopians. Armageddon and World War III is at hand, but we're still doing the same nastiness. Missima 187, I noticed that you supported last week, but I don't know what happened on the system. It messed up. So I'll see if it's gone through at this time. But if not, DM me, Missima187. I'm not sure who you are on Insta, but DM me and then we'll try and sort it out. But I did notice that from last week and I've seen it come up again. So there you have it. Let's put the link out. Let's see what anyone else has got to say. I wasn't going to open up Sister to any type of scrutiny tonight. So she's not going to stay on for no questions and answers or nothing. Yeah, for real, Fiona, on Trop, I think that says Entrap 101, stiff neck, fed up of the black community. What a damn mess. What a damn mess. What a damn mess. And people are still out here defending what? Going on like this thing wasn't a part of sound system and is now a part of dance hall. You know, why are we burying our heads in the sand? Why are we suffering from self-delusion? Why? This is what I want to know. Why are we suffering from that? It's just unbelievable. I will come to Brum, my sister. You know, I'm not a stranger to Brum. I actually lived there once in the 80s for about 4 months. I was touring with a play. And I lived off of the Lozelles Road, and then we moved to another place up at Aston back in then. And I was playing in a play called Princess Black at the Porsche Club. Big up Vonley, if you're still around. So I got a bit of Birmingham, albeit that it is very historic. But I always loved Birmingham. I always felt that people were friendlier, the girls were nicer. You go out in the club and they go, oh, you look really nice. And I'll be like, ah. And, you know, like London girls weren't like that. They're all a bit kind of watchy and bitchy. And I never used to feel that vibes from the Birmingham girls back in the day. Whether she's not a supporter, I'll come to Birmingham anyway. What is it, Mitchie Boo? You know, interesting name. I'm sure it's not the Mitchie Boo. Sure, pretty sure of that. Yeah. So there's the link. Have I put it out? I'm sure I copied and pasted it. I probably didn't. I'm going to have to wrap up within the hour anyway. And we're at 45, so we've only got a little bit of time. It's a short one tonight, people. But I am hitting the road. So, oops. Oh dear, what was I doing there? Let me put the link out in case you missed it, because I think I did. I think I missed it. I don't think we're going to get many takers tonight, you know, somehow, which is a good look. There we go. But that's the sister's testimony, and she's standing by it, and we will be standing by her as well. We will be standing by her as well, as we do, because we certainly believe them. Someone says, I remember the Porsche Club. Is that still there in Birmingham? Mitchie Boo is riding ick. Oh, Lord. Is Mitchie Boo actually a girl? Saying what she's saying. Okay, whatever. You know, we've got 1 or 2 girls in Birmingham that are not friendly fire. Let's just call it that. Big up Hurricane Toya. I see you back there. No takers for the StreamYard link. Jump on. Have a conversation. Tell me that I'm lying. Tell us that the victim who just gave her testimony is lying as well, describing the inside of people's mums' houses. You know, you're missing the point. You're missing the point, people. Doesn't matter if she was 17 and she was just at her 17th birthday. She wasn't even about to be 18. She just turned to 17. She was just like a few moments before that, 16, right? So it was just weeks, she said, after her 17th birthday. And she did not look 17. She was a size 6, quite flat-chested, small, petite. That's what you got to get in your minds. With a 38-year-old man, 38 years old and married, and working in a college amongst people's girl children. Well, I don't know about Birmingham. I'm not going to put a slight on Birmingham because I know the good people of Birmingham would not be having that either. Nobody in the black community who is decent would be having that. But you people that think that's okay, then you're no different to the people that we're calling out. And you're usually not. You're usually not. We know that our trolls are a group of paedophiles that are really, really convicted and invested in trying to bring us down. Why? Because they're a group of pedos. We've called out every single one of them. They're not pedos, they're wrong-uns, perpetrators. Yeah? You can see it in the behavior. Obsessive, incessant, vindictive. Yo, they show their pathology. But like I said last week, fire there must still them think a cool breeze, don't it? One more time, guys, and then I'm locking off. I'm locking off, and we'll be back with a new case next week. Yeah, Birmingham need to stop cover up, just like Brixton needed to stop cover up back in the day. Stop cover up, man. Enough's enough. Copy and paste the link if you want to come on and have your say. If you want to support, if you want to deny, whatever you want to do. It's a community conversation. Do that. But I, for one, feel that sister's testimony was extremely pure. You know, extremely pure. And there's no agenda for that individual. You know, there's no agenda for that individual. None whatsoever. So why would they, you know, all these years later come on unless they had seen the shout, understood that it was safe to come there, to come out, and there was somewhere to go. Because we all know what the police are like. Who's going to them 10 years later? Most people don't want to. Most people understand the process usually comes to zero. But when you stand strong, and that is the principle with which His Time Is Up was built on, when you stand strong as a group, you can bring that somewhere. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm hoping to give you guys a update on the Punray case, which, see these things, 4 years, you know, since it was reported to the police. Yeah, 3.5 years since we knew about it and called it out on a monumental scale. Yeah. And oh dear, let's just make sure this isn't Kwame. All right. I'll bring you on in a minute, Angel. Yeah, so 3.5 years. It was supposed to go to trial in December the 10th. There was an adjournment, even though it was literally about to go to trial. There was an adjournment. They haven't really told anybody, you know, what's going on from what isn't going on. Just nothing now. We don't know what the adjournment's about. We don't know why, how long, and it's just happening. But there was a report recently that was highlighting the fact that the courts are overrun, sentences are going to have to be held back. And of course, as usual, the types of cases that would probably be most affected would be historic sexual abuse, domestic violence cases, and so on. So what do I say about the system? Blessed love. Blessed love, you're on the stage. You are live. All right. We're not unmuting the mic. What's going on? Can you hear me? Angel?
Oh, sorry. Hi. Yes. Hi.
Oh, I can hear you now. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Blessed love, sis.
I'm from Birmingham, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I can tell by your lovely accent. I love to
I live down the road from the Porsche. I used to go there.
Oh, did you? Yeah, the Porsche
Yeah.
Club. I know you're an old timer like me then, if you remember the
Yeah.
Porsche Club. It's a long
No,
time.
I'm only 16.
Bless you,
But
sis.
keep up the good work because I remember as a mom when with my younger children, and you know when you see people and you see that you don't know they're paedophile, but you know you have to keep your children safe. And when you find out on the shout that they go to prison.
Yeah.
I know a few people, and they had children, and even they said, "Oh, leave your children there, let them." I said, "No way." My spirit said no, and you find that they're nasty, and they go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
They got done, but there's still a lot of them out there that need to get exposed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, sis. And you know, the old days when it was perfectly acceptable, a man would be brandishing his young thing in the dance, no problem. You know, little 13-year-old girls up in at the blues dance with the big man them crubbing off wallpaper. No one said a word.
I would, because I
was the type that would, because at 13 I couldn't even begin to be in a dance like the way my parents were. Like you, that wasn't happening.
No, but I would say something because my mum would be one that be saying, "Don't look at my daughter. Don't look at my daughter." But exactly. I say, because if I see them and they don't look right, no, sir, not down with that. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, it is absolutely disgusting, sis. And we know Birmingham was no different to any other communities that we have, whether that is in Moss Side, whether that is in Chapeltown, whether that is in Bristol. It doesn't matter where we are. These were the kinds of things that were playing out within our community. These were the kinds of things. And there was an old, there was a case in Birmingham, actually. I've just remembered it. I don't know if you might remember it. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, Owen somebody. And he was a well-respected guy, married, everything, that was basically troubling up the young boys. Do you remember that?
No, I don't know about that one, but there was one.
I remember the name now. I think he got convicted in the end, that one. Yeah.
Because there was one that used to train them as, have them as in netball team. And, right. And you know what happened with my friend's daughter. And imagine the guys were two best friends with my friend's daughter. She ended up going, said she's not interested in men and gone the other way. And it's a man, you know, there's too many of them. And one woman with one of the cases, I went to a house and she was saying that the guy was innocent. I've said in life, don't speak to me. Don't even look at me when you see me. Because how can he go to court, get done for 17 counts? And one of my friends was one of them, her daughter, and she disbelieved. And how it all came out was because she had boys and she was going to get married, and the ex-partner spoke out about it. So that's how he got done. So had he not said he was going to marry that woman, it would have never came out. But that's crap. It should have come out from time.
Absolutely, sis. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, my sister. Thanks for your views. Thank you for jumping on, sis, and validating the thing. And, you know, we understand it. We understand it, especially those of us from back in the eras, right?
100.
100, sis. Keep it 100. Blessed love, sis. Yes, guys, as I said, we got to come to the top of the hour because I've got to jet in a second, people. I've got to jet. Grandma Liz, take time with Gregory. He is one of our people, so as far as I see. But we don't always know, do we, Gregory? So you can well and understand. You're asking about the sister. People take breaks, you know. That's happened before. And, you know, it's happened before. Why is everyone asking for everyone? Don't understand. But anyway, I shall see you guys next week on Afua Speaks Community Conversations. I know it's a short one, guys. Please don't get on to me in the DMs. I was going to do like another story tonight, you know, but as I say, I've got to jump out. I've got to go and meet some friends and get a bit of a life for once because I don't often go out on a Friday night. I don't really want to. It's not a lot out there and it's cold anyway. But yeah, they've dragged me out tonight and I've got to go because it's a special occasion. So I shall see you guys next week on Afua Speaks Community Conversations. And yeah, we'll chop it up, people. We'll chop it up. Have a fantastic weekend. You don't know, keep it real and keep it moving. Blessed love. Blessed love.